4 tips to help start the new year well. I'm sitting here with resident psychologist Collett, and she's going to help us start the new year well. Hit me with it.
So I think I have never really liked the whole term New Year's resolutions. It makes it this end of year, almost this ominous thing that we all have to do. I really prefer the term goals.
Right.
Because we can actually set goals at any point in the year.
It doesn't have to be at the end of the year for the new year.
No, there's no magic in the 1st of January.
No.
But it's a good time for some of us when we look back and we think, oh, we might want to set some goals. And goals really just keep us moving forward. They require us to act and to do something. And they inspire us to grow as human beings. That's part of being human. And fascinating stuff is when they look at MRI studies, they actually see that when you create habits in your mind, you actually create new neural pathways.
Right.
And if you have new neural pathways, they become your default or the fallback. So when you're going through a tough time or you fall off the wagon, you will actually come back to those new neural pathways much quicker. So habits are important for us as human beings.
And developing good habits is putting in that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And saying that, bad habits have the same effect. So we fall back onto those. So part of New Year's resolutions or goals is setting positive new goals in our lives.
Right.
Then I always talk about being realistic, but in terms of goals, it's important to keep them realistic to the time frame and the period in your life. Your goals will look different this year if you've become a new mum, or if you have had to change jobs, or if you've lost your job. Your goals will look very different.
Right.
And so be kind to yourself and be realistic, because when we set unrealistic goals, we actually call that false hope syndrome. And that is actually something
like,
common.
I'm going to be a billionaire by next month.
Absolutely. Or even the end of the year when, you just really need to find a new job.
When you don't have a job or something.
Yes. and also, I'm going to be the best mum ever. What does that mean?
Right.
We need to have tiny steps in our goals, and goals that don't set us up to fail. Because when we set them up such lofty goals, we will fall off the wagon and we will fail.
So they need to be attainable.
Yes, absolutely. And then, of course, our goals must be related to our life events, because those will change. And you might think, well, this year, my parenting, I want to change in this area because now I have a child becoming a teenager. Right. So be okay with the changes in your life events. And then finally, I think it's really important that we stay kind to ourselves. Be kind to ourselves, because when we do fall off the goal or it doesn't go quite as well as we hoped, when one fallback or step back isn't the end of the world. Right. We just get back up and we keep aiming towards that goal, even if they're tiny steps. The point about goals is growing as a human being, and one tiny step means growth. So if you've moved forward, you've grown.
Love it. Thank you so much. And I guess a key tip there is get back up again.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much, Collett. Keep it locked right here at Mums at the Table, and click here for more of these great tips.